Gary, what do you tell your team, and how do you get them to put last night behind them and focus on what's ahead?
Well, it's sort of like my golf game. You got to have a short-term memory, or you'll forget about that last putt that you missed or something like that. No, seriously, this team is very resilient. We've lost now 5 ball games, and we really believe we should have won all 5 ball games. But we played very mediocre for 3/4 of the game, and then all of a sudden we had another great fourth quarter. And Hillsman was good in the fourth. Danny finally started hitting some shots, and Curtis was Curtis. But all of a sudden we were playing without Andriel, who fouled out. Lumpkin was basically not efficient, and Cooper was doing a good job of hitting some threes for us. But what you've got to realize, it's not how many plays you make, it's the mistakes that you make down the stretch. And that's the way it is almost in every sport. It's not great plays. I hit this great three. I made the drive through the middle. It is being able just to execute a half-court defense, a half-court offense, a simple inbounds play, a free throw, which we've been shooting well all year. We were number 2 in the league. Guess who was number 1? Missouri. And they hit 27 out of 33 and 18 out of their first 19. Every time we would get close at the end, even in overtime, we'd go down and hit 1 out of 2 free throws. And then all of a sudden, it'd be a 3-point game. And we kept staying close. We did some good things in it, but give them credit. This was very similar to the men's game the other night, when the men were up 56-50, had a couple of empty possessions. We got up 55-50 with, I think, 1:05 to go. And then all of a sudden we give up a 3 by their best player in the corner. We basically lose her. We come down the court. We have an empty possession when we tried to bank in a shot from about 10 feet. And then all of a sudden the game gets away from you. The momentum changes. And all of a sudden, we still had the ball 16 seconds to go. 16 seconds, our ball underneath. And we probably got a quick count on the 5-second, but it doesn't matter. We should have thrown it in. And there's got to be a sense of urgency there. And then the kid misses a shot. She fouls my best free throw shooter, the SEC's leading scorer. She's going to the line to shoot 2 shots with 7 seconds to go. And if she makes both those shots, then we're going to go down the court. They're going to call timeout, and we're going to foul under 5 seconds and make them do it the hard way instead of letting them shoot a 3-point shot. But we only made 1. Their kid had basically an uncontested layup, tie ball game. Their crowd was going bananas. My kids came over to the huddle like we had already lost the game. But they forgot we made a great comeback to put ourselves in front. Down by 8 and 10 most of the half, we found a way to get back in it, made some great plays. And look at little Curtis Knox. 25 points, 45 minutes, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, a couple steals. She just plays. But we needed other kids to step up at the same time in crunch time. We'll learn from it. Missouri's a good ball club. We let Sophia Cunningham go off for 36 points. She's good. We shut down their second leading scorer to 4, but you cannot let any kid go off for 36.
Coach, you guys really have done a good job, speaking about Cunningham, about clamping down on the other team's go-to girl, except for last night. What made her so special and difficult to guard?
She wanted the ball. She could create off the bounce as well as shoot the 3. Most kids in our league can do one or the other. They're good off the bounce, but they do not have the 3-point shot. This kid is just a sophomore. Her senior sister is a role player for him, does a good job that hurt us with a couple of threes in that ball game. But this is a kid that's just very special. And by the time I think she becomes a senior, she has a chance to be a State Farm All-American. She's already in the top 5 or 6 players in our league. So give Sophie a lot of credit. We tried everybody on her, and nobody could take her. And finally, I had to put Curtis on her at the end. And after playing 45 minutes, even Curtis couldn't stop her off the bounce.
Yuri, what do you have to do well Sunday to get back in the win column and beat LSU?
Beat a zone, probably be a low-scoring ball game. They like to grind you down. They've got a very effective press led by Moncrief, and she leads the SEC in steals. They got Chloe Jackson, was Player of the Week last week or the week before. She's doing a great job for them. And then they got Hyder inside, a smaller post player that can face the basket that's always given us a lot of problems. But I think LSU and ourselves, we're 2 of the teams that have overachieved this year. And I think both of us have played well compared to where we were picked in the rankings. And that's our rival. I mean, it's time for Mardi Gras, but it's Mardi Gras in College Station, not down in Baton Rouge right now. So I want everybody out there on Sunday afternoon. There's no excuse, folks. No Cowboys, no Texans, no Aggies. I expect you there.